All right, welcome to section 6 of our growth and development series. So, now we're going to focus on older adult development, which is extremely important in nursing, especially for HESI. So, older adulthood is not a period where development stops. Instead, it's a stage that involves continued adjustment, reflection, and adaptation. As nurses, our role is to support independence, safety, quality of life, and dignity. So while you're going through your questions, avoid answers that stereotype older adults as confused, dependent, or even disengaged. Now, several theorists focus specifically on the developmental tasks of aging. These help us understand what older adults are working through emotionally and psychologically, not just physically. Robert Peck identified three major development tasks for older adults. The first is ego differentiation versus work role preoccupation. This means learning to find self worth beyond a career or job. The second is body transcendence versus body preoccupation, accepting physical changes without letting them define your identity. The third is ego transcendence versus ego preoccupation, which involves accepting mortality while finding meaning in one's life and legacy. Now, if an older adult struggles after retirement, think ego differentiation. All right, our next Robert on this slide is Robert Havighurst. Now, he focused on the practical life adjustments older adults face. These include adjusting to decreased physical strength, retirement, reduced income, loss of a spouse, and changing social roles. Successfully adapting to these changes contributes to life satisfaction and emotional well being. Now, lastly, on this slide, we have Robert Ashley. Now, this Robert described retirement as a process, not a single event. His phases include pre retirement, honeymoon, disenchantment, reorientation, stability, and termination. So, understanding these phases helps nurses anticipate emotional responses during retirement transitions. Healthy aging looks different for everyone. Factors like physical health, social support, finances, and resilience all influence how someone experiences aging. Nurses should avoid assumptions and focus on individualized care. So, another HESI tip for you: older adults vary widely. Age alone does not determine ability. Sorry, I went a little bit too fast there. Now, health promotion remains essential in older adulthood. So, this includes preventative screenings, managing chronic conditions, staying physically active, maintaining their nutrition, and supporting mental health. A complete exercise program for older adults includes four components. Okay, aerobic activity, muscle strengthening, flexibility, and balance training. So, even low intensity activity provides benefits, including fall prevention and improved independence. So, if you see anything about balance training, just remember that balance training helps prevent falls, which are a major cause of injury in older adults. Now, when it comes to memory and cognitive support, memory changes are common with aging, but Important note, they are not the same as dementia. Older adults often benefit from memory aids. So think written lists, calendars, reminders, and routines. Supporting independence is always going to be our goal. Now, I've said it once, I'm going to emphasize it again. Normal aging does not equate to dementia. Now, in this PowerPoint, we also have Maria Montessori. Okay, so this goes back to what we were just talking about, competence over age, and the fact that we need to make sure that we are suggesting learner-centered approaches that respect individual pace and learning styles. Okay, because like we mentioned, age does not equate to level of competence. Malaguzzi also looked at learning through exploration. Okay, so meaning that, we need to explore and discover rather than simply get that transmission of predetermined facts. Okay, now this also goes throughout, multiple generations and different parts of the developmental process because we are constantly learning and exploring. So this is something that is going to develop over time, and is going to continue to evolve. Okay, now some more just about general aging and what we need to consider. Okay, so depression is a serious concern in older adults and is often linked to social isolation. Okay, it could also be linked to chronic illness and to loss. So, staying socially connected supports emotional health and overall well being. As nurses, we should encourage engagement, not withdrawal. Now, looking at connecting this to Healthy People 2030 goals. Okay, so, and again, Healthy People 2030, we're looking at the nation's science based framework for improving health and well being. So, you're probably going to see Healthy People 2030 brought up somewhere at some time, whether it be in your readings already or whether it be on an exam question. Now, with this, okay, something that we end up seeing, unfortunately, is elder abuse. So, elder abuse is the physical, emotional, social, or financial mistreatment of an older adult. This occurs in homes, facilities, or communities and is often underreported. Now remember, nurses are legally and ethically responsible for recognizing and reporting suspected abuse, not just of children, but of anybody. So, elder abuse, like I said, again, can include physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial exploitation, neglect, or violation of rights. Any unexplained injuries, sudden financial changes, fearfulness, or poor hygiene should raise a concern. Now, for living arrangements for older adults may live independently, okay, but we also sometimes see them living with family. They could be living in assisted living or in skilled nursing facilities. The best option depends on the patient's health status, safety, finances, and personal preference. Okay, now what's also important to note is that this also may change over time of where the patient might fit best. Now, some other key takeaways, we're also looking at activities of daily living, which are a key measurement of independence. These support eating, dressing, bathing, toileting, and communicating. Okay, this is the things that we do as autonomous human beings every day. So, supporting ADLs helps preserve dignity and quality of life. So, when you think ADLs, think basic care activities. Now, as nurses, we advocate for older adults by promoting safety, independence, dignity, and respect. Aging does not eliminate the need for love, for connection, for purpose, or even for intimacy. Our care should always reflect that. All right, so here are your key takeaways for section 6. Remember that aging involves continued development. Okay, so when we look at theorists, Peck, Havikhurst, and Atchley, all of our Roberts, explain aging tasks. Fall prevention is critical. Normal aging does not equate dementia. Elder abuse must be reported. And independence and dignity are priorities. All right, we made it to the end of section 6. So, with this section ending, we're now going to go ahead and start looking at each separate developmental stage or age group, I should say, within our next sections. So, I'm excited to teach you about all the things that we need to know, and I will see you in the next one.